Hey everyone, it's Anthony Onesto, and this is New York HR. My co-host Steve Levy is right to the left of me.
The bald man. Hashtag the bald man.
Hashtag the bald man. I like that. And in the middle, crunched between us in a New York sandwich, is Claude Silver, the Chief Heart Officer here at VaynerMedia.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Well, actually,
This is like being at Katz's. You know,
Katz's.
You got a lot of meat in between two thin pieces of bread.
Okay, if you want to go with that,
I
sure.
like sandwich.
That is sangwich. All right, sangwich. Exactly. Well, we're actually in the VaynerMedia offices, which is really, what a view, by the way.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome. Here at 10 Hudson Yards. Really, really cool space. And so we're excited to have Claude. We had to reschedule. Claude had some things going on. Totally cool. And being the heart officer, she was very heartful in her rescheduling, and we're happy to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Heartful? Yeah, no, isn't that a word? Like strategery?
Strategic.
It's like
it was
heartful.
It was a heartfelt.
Heartfelt. Oh, it's heartful. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Full on.
All right, we'll get past that.
No cardiologist here.
No cardiology, exactly. Well, we're excited to have you, Claude. I think, you know, from being in HR for my entire career, when we met, I thought it was really exciting to meet you and learn about your background. So in New York HR, we go through a couple of different segments. The first is we want to learn about you. Where did you come from? Are you a New Yorker? Are you implanted here? Born? What was your, childhood like? No Freudian stuff, very quick. Reader's Digest version. By the way, for millennials, Reader's Digest was the old magazine with short stories.
By the way, for millennials, we also found out this week the millennials don't know that you can get television for free.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. They're called antennas. Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
fantastic.
That would be a pretty good, when you onboard all your millennials here, give them these digital antennas. Cut the $200
It's amazing.
account.
It's amazing.
It's great.
You didn't have to pay for anything.
Nothing, just the antenna. They're cheap.
It's just crappy service, but
That's good. It's really good.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You wouldn't know in Staten Island.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we're too far away.
This is Tony Porkchop.
So, so we're going to go through Claude's background. We're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a chief heart officer, and of course, we're gonna get on you for the title, and we're traditionalists, so yeah. So we're going to try to find out what exactly that means.
When did you drop the R from your name? You have CHO. CHRO wasn't enough. You had to go CHO.
Yeah, we like CHO.
That's efficient. That's efficient.
It is. And then we're going to find out innovative programs. You done?
Are you done?
So we're going to find out about innovative programs that are happening here at Vayner that are people focused. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about your favorite pizza by the Slice location. But for Steve, we're going to talk about what?
Bagels, of course.
Bagels, of course, your favorite bagel place. So tell us about yourself. Where were you born?
This is your elevator pitch.
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
I think I'm right. I'm going to take notes right
May
here.
2nd, 1969. From what I understand, the Mets were in the World Series.
They were.
Going
I was
into the
there.
World Series. My dad held me on his knee as Neil Armstrong went up into space.
Cool.
So I'm a 69 kid.
Nice. May 2nd. So are you a Taurian?
I'm a Taurus.
So am I. May 4th.
Wow.
All right.
I don't want to leave you out.
No,
We're stubborn as hell, by the
I'm
way.
an Aries. You want to talk about stubborn,
Oh,
Tony?
no.
That's true.
Oh my God.
That's true.
Horns and hoods right here.
There you go. Hashtag
Oh my
right
gosh. All right. Grew up in New York City
Sounds like a
until
strip
I
bar.
was
You know that.
horns and hoods.
Horns and hooves.
I see where your mind goes.
HR.
My
Come on.
God. Wow.
All right.
Was here until I was 11, and guess where we moved? You'll never even Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Santa Fe, New Mexico. So where in New York did
Santa Fe,
you
New
live?
Mexico.
Yeah.
Have you been reading what's been happening lately in Santa Fe?
I mean,
Literally the biker gang wars in Santa Fe.
is that right?
Yeah.
I love it.
Biker gang. So
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy stuff.
Big time.
Yeah, the kind of stuff that you and I are alter ego.
Yeah,
no,
of
it's
course.
massive.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
massive.
Tony
And a
gets
lot
into
of
that.
drogas there. Anyway,
Okay.
let's get back into it.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Santa Fe and
You're in a row.
back.
Santa Fe, and then grew up there. Went to junior high school there.
Cool.
Made some, did some damage.
Okay.
Make a little love.
So
When
you were
you was in
saying,
there.
you were saying is you're glad social media didn't exist back
I'm
in
glad
those days.
social did not exist down there. Had a great
We all
time.
are.
I was really like, I'm kind of an emo person, so I was heavily into sports, and I was heavily into The Cure, Depeche, Joy
Sure.
Division.
What sports?
I played a lot of tennis and soccer.
You have a right arm.
Right. See that? Kind of like
You can see it. No, I can see it. I can see it in the forum right there.
and okay, I was on the 10-year plan for college.
Okay.
I went to Rollins for 2 years.
Very cool.
It's easy when you play like this.
Yeah, but it's also
Tennis.
it's great for tennis.
Okay,
cool.
Went to Rollins for 2 years and then left because school was not coming. Just the academics of school didn't come to me as naturally as the feelings and emotions and just being intuitive and highly sensitive person came to me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And all of that groovy stuff. So I went on a 93-day outward bound. I told my parents I needed to find an outward bound that would kick my ass. And it kicked my, can we say?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Badabing, yeah, we're not even there yet.
My ass, I was out of 9 guys that we were all 18, 19 years old.
Right.
Where'd you go to?
We started in Colorado when we all carried 85 pounds on our backs.
You did the pass?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Colorado, climbed like the 13, 14ers, went into Utah, Moab, to Canyonlands.
I'm tired already. I need a drink of water
Grand
right now.
Canyon lived in the Grand Canyon for 4 weeks.
Yeah. 4 weeks.
Class 4, class 5, and then just retreat for 3 weeks. So
you did more in those weeks than I have done in my entire life, by the way.
It changed my entire life.
Well, yeah.
So we can talk about pizza, which
Sure.
we dreamt about when we were out there. But
I'm good at pizza.
I had we each had our 5-pound block of cheese, and we get it resupplied, and a tub of peanut butter, and made a lot of tuna surprise.
It's just like one of these naked afraids, except you weren't naked.
There's no naked. I mean,
that's for the next show.
We'll get back to that.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, there's more. We'll get back to that, Tony.
We will. Okay. Coming soon. So what'd you learn? Like all this time spent, what'd you learn? And like, did anything strike you?
Yeah, in the biggest way. You gotta count on yourself.
Count on yourself.
All right. I used to climb those first 2 weeks. We were climbing up, traversing up these mountains, like 1,000 feet at a time.
Huh.
And I was singing, "Had like a hole, black as your soul. I'd rather die than give you control." How well do you think I liked myself in that moment?
Yeah.
Not very well.
That's a pretty perky song to sing when you're feeling so maudlin.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, death and gold.
That was me not.
Oh, it's kind of motivating.
Not counting on myself. Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yes.
Let's go back.
Yes.
But I learned teamwork.
Okay.
There's nothing that happens.
Count on yourself. Teamwork.
Yeah. Nothing that happens without teamwork and being of service.
Cool.
Literally.
Interesting.
Getting out of myself, because I was in myself singing that song. Getting out of to help others and to help nature.
Okay, cool. So now let's we're not going to yada through your younger years, but let's talk about your career. So now you go to college, the 10-year plan.
Finish. Yeah.
What do you do after? What's college look like? Like, show us your road to chief heart officer.
Okay.
Which is, by the way, a very unique one. It's not a traditional. Yeah. Like I went into recruiting. Even though Steve doesn't believe that, and then I went into HR, and then obviously I'm here doing this. So
yes, you are. You're both here doing this.
So there's promise for all of you.
Yeah. No, it's not. Just we're trying to solve this. You're still schwitzing. I'm schwitzing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What is that? We promised to define the words that you use. Schwitzing.
Schwitzing.
Can you define that for the listeners?
I am sweating out of my ears. Schwitzing is Yiddish for just sweat pouring off.
It's not just glow.
You got it. It's not just schwitzing is not just glow.
For the New York folks.
It's all New York all the time. All right, so now you're out of college. You're out of college, and now you're starting your first job.
All right.
Because it's an interesting story.
Yeah, it really is.
Because not like you said, like I think I want to go into HR.
I didn't go into HR until very recently. That's what we're going to find out. Yeah. So I was studying to get my master's in social work, and I was working at a grocery store. I was managing a grocery store in San Francisco in the Castro. And this guy came in one day and he said, "I think you'd be a really good project manager." And I said, "I have no freaking idea. It's 1998. What's that?"
So what was he buying? Like what gave him the?
I think it was probably like brown rice. This is like San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah, true. So
what gave him the impression you would be a good project manager?
I managed a store. I had a good presence. I was in the cashier area.
Makes sense.
I'm like, it was, hopefully, I think I was passing along some good vibes.
You had that military crop.
paper, plastic.
Right.
Got a lot, And he explained what it was, and he said, "Look, I'm starting an internet.com company based around surfing, snowboarding, and skateboarding." And he said, "You surf and snowboard, right?" "Yeah." "Right, great." Next thing I knew, I was probably making $24K right there at the grocery store.
So he was starting an internet.com company website.
Yeah. You and I would call it
how many stories like that years ago, right? How many? I'm starting a .com, and it was like,
I'm an entrepreneur.
Whoa. Right.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he had backing from Quicksilver and a couple other places. So I'd get in my little beater saw, drive down to Palo Alto every day, almost doubled my salary. And I got into I literally put aside my studies and said to myself, all right, you love people. It's always going to be in your life. You know, teamwork is, teamwork is everything. So you're just going to make sure that you're around teams and you're facilitating teamwork, team bonding, growth and change all the time. And then I
pretty deep. How old were you?
Yeah, 28.
28. I don't know if I was that deep.
I'm deep.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, I passed through all of the life lessons and everything.
Like I'm thinking that now, and it's kind of deep.
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of like clairvoyancy and spiritual seeking.
Very good. This is
the magic. Here comes the magic. He used the magic 8 ball. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, the wheel of compensation. Too.
Should I ask her out? Yes, looks like a good idea. Okay. I would like read people's shuffles instead.
How it happened with him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know you, but I'm getting to know you. And then I started in digital. That was it. That was my big detour. Took a left in Albuquerque, and the rest is history.
Sounds like a Bugs Bunny character.
Yeah.
I know, really.
I took a left in Albuquerque. This isn't Albuquerque.
And,
so good.
So digital took me. So that company went out of business in 2 years, as one does. I went into another company called GarageBand that was founded by Sir George Martin and Jerry Harrison of the Talking Heads.
Okay.
And this is before Facebook.
Sure.
So this was unsigned bands loading up their MP3s, and the community would judge them, would rank and review.
Tell everyone what an MP3 is, or do? Again, we're just trying to make sure.
Sound file.
The people, if they're listening to this, Tony,
they know what an MP3 is.
They know what an MP3
Okay.
is. If you want to say, what floppy disk, data match, anything of that nature.
That's me. Sorry, I thought I turned it off.
We got a Bing. You see how we're all of us were like, where was it?
Badabing.
Okay. Badabing.
That company went out of business. So then I went into an advertising agency for a quick second. That was my first taste.
There it is.
It was my first taste. And quickly I said, I don't think I'm ready for this. There's something else in me. And my friend and I, at that time, started an outdoor adventure company and a surfing company for women in San Francisco.
Okay.
Girls Adventure Out. Shaka.
What's the name of it?
Girls Adventure Out.
Girls Adventure Out.
It's now called Adventure Out.
Okay. Still in existence.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so for 5 years, I taught people how to surf about 250 days a year.
Oh, man.
Killer tan. Killer. Here up and here down.
Got it.
Because you have to wear 4 threes.
Yeah, right.
Those are wetsuits.
Thank you. I had no idea. 4 threes.
But that like incredible.
I'm thinking like 4 threes there.
Yeah. That,
sorry.
I mean, so.
Would you like to see him get him on board?
Oh my gosh.
We get a 12
They'd call.
A big 12-footer. And that's what I did all day.
Just hold them and push off.
Yeah. Coaching people. We wrote the content for the site. We figured it out in a weekend. We wrote it.
Online, offline, which everyone is talking about now, right?
Had a little community. Online. We sold wetsuits. We got a deal with, that movie Blue Crush was coming out.
Sure.
And they looked us up, and then we did some touring with them.
Google Blue Crush, by the way, if you don't know.
Sweet movie.
Yep.
She's, sweet.
Brittany.
Not Spears.
Not Spears. No, you know her name is Brittany something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she wasn't. I don't think she was in that one. The one that got
the actual young girl whose arm was taken off.
Yeah.
Her name was.
I don't think she was in that movie.
No, she wasn't.
Oh yeah, okay. We're just zigging and zagging.
We're doing.
Okay.
As we're just riding the wave.
We're riding the wave.
Let's get back.
So.
Okay, here we go.
5 years.
He's not in control.
Like, can you imagine what that was like? So I taught surfing, rock climbing, mountain biking, mountaineering. Remember, I had done all of this at
Sure. Yep, makes sense.
And had coaches, independent contractors, had insurance. I was living the dream. 24/7 though, because it's a labor of love when you have your own company.
Yeah, right? You're in it. You're thinking about it all
7
the time.
days a week.
Yeah, 7 days a week. You're strapping, 8 surfboards to the top of your car, riding out to Lindemar and Pacifica or Santa Cruz, and
It's a pretty nice office, though.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, we sold the company to a surf instructor named Cliff, who still owns it and operates it.
Congratulations,
good old
Cliff.
Cliff.
Good old Cliff.
Good old Cliff.
Cliff.
And I would.
How many surfers are named Cliff? You think?
I'm sure Cliff's a pretty popular name, just like Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony.
I'm going to ask you dumb questions.
I would love to have that company now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went back to work and I went into everything I knew, which was digital project management. Started a small little company called Rocket Communications, and I was project manager, whatever. And then went into learned a little UI, UX there.
Yeah.
Did some projects for Intel and Cisco.
I have a project for you, by the way.
All right, UI, UX.
Yeah, we need that.
Okay.
Time, yeah.
And I know, let's get there. So lo and behold, agency. Someone said to me at some point, as I was like director of whatever, they said, "You're a strategist."
Huh.
Can I? Yeah. Yep.
Sounds
it's
like it.
You need to change teams.
Okay.
And instead of changing teams, I changed companies. And I went to JWT, and that's kind of where the next big adventure of my life comes in.
Interesting. So the company before, someone there said, "You're a strategist."
You're a strategist.
And you said, "Thank you, I'm going to go to this other company."
And then I was like, "Oh,
like
I'm marketable as a strategist."
So like that pinball career.
Yeah,
bing,
that's me. Like right place, right time, being open to everything, open to possibilities, saying yes.
Yep.
And ran JWT San Francisco's, started their entire digital arm. They didn't have one. Was trained by WPP in terms of like digital excellence. And then the next thing I know, a year into that job, I get a call. Very, very posh accent on the other side of the phone. And this person said,
"No, it wasn't you."
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, then I could.
Said, I heard we need someone with your skill sets. That was not posh.
Yeah, no, that was.
We need someone with those skill sets.
Exactly.
All right, we're
skill
not.
Sets.
Yeah,
we're not.
Not good.
It's like we need a Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
And within 2 weeks, I moved to London.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And
Change.
Yeah, and that started the next big adventure. So it was like outward bound, huge, at 19, and then at 39, moved to London.
Entrepreneurial throughout.
Yeah, not knowing anyone.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting.
No, that's scary.
It's scary.
It was actually awesome. And the thing is like, you still don't hear HR in my life, right?
No.
Yeah, because you know we have a spray on anti-HR spray.
There's still no HR.
No HR.
And in fact,
it's like movie Alien.
HR. I never went to HR. I mean, I'm a good kid at that point.
Gone off the rails, ladies and gentlemen.
So, but what I knew how to do was
I
knew how to run teams. I knew how to absolutely champion teams and
champion of course.
So this is what.
I mean, you didn't say there was no HR in it, but there is facets of HR that have intertwined between each one of them. Well, I would say more entrepreneurial than anything else, but there's definitely
a lot of stuff is HR.
Can I fire my children?
No.
Based on some of your Facebook posts, yeah, you probably have already.
Sorry, I had to put a cough drop in, but
no worries.
No one knew, except I just announced it.
There you go. Now everyone knows.
Yeah.
Okay, then we won't announce that. Random generic cough drop.
So where do we want to go from here? How I got to Vayner?
Yeah, let's go to the Vayner.
You can't just in a 20-book chapters just stop at chapter 19.
Yeah, like London was
awesome.
Amazing. It's the best city, one of the best cities.
So how do you get? So obviously you're now at VaynerMedia. How did that happen? Like we're small startup.
Yeah.
Social media company.
Yeah,
how did that
350,
work?
380 when I joined.
Yeah.
I was at this point now. I was at Publicis London, and I was head strategist on P&G for oral care. Brush. My best friend is head of media for Unilever, and said to me, "You can't work for P&G. I'm your best friend." And one day she introduced me to Gary, and we had a 4-minute conversation. On the phone. I was pacing in my kitchen in London, and you could tell there was magic there, as you can anytime you meet Gary, and he's just like a magical unicorn. And I came to New York. New York the next month. We had.
She wasn't the magical. She's magical. She could be. That's
yeah, that's true. I mean, chief officer.
I just insulted her.
Yeah,
insulted her. You know it's
she's referencing Gary. Anyway.
We had coffee and breakfast, half an hour on the Upper East Side, and I left that meeting floating.
Cool.
And knew that I needed to work with him.
Yeah.
I had an inkling he might want to work with me. We have really similar energies.
Cool.
And
I didn't have things happen in Upper East Side. Like,
a lot. Well,
magic.
The funny thing is I'm going to tell you something, which we didn't. You asked me where I grew up when I was in New York.
Yep.
So I grew up in Kips Bay, and then I grew up on 71st between Park and Lex.
Okay.
Where we met that day for coffee was the coffee shop my dad would always take me.
No kidding.
On 70th and Lex.
Come on.
Yeah. So everything's kismet meant to be. Did you follow that?
You didn't.
I knew what it was going to go there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was surprised.
He's the unicorn. He's the unicorn.
Okay.
So one thing leads to another, and.
So what does he say though? Like in that conversation, is it like I want you to be my
he said I've been following you cosmically for all these years. I know this is where your dad took you.
Uh-huh.
That's what he said.
That I wouldn't have been surprised if he hadn't said that.
Okay.
No, he didn't. He didn't that day. We just liked each other. It's like, all right, let's keep the conversation going. I went back to London.
Yep.
And then, lo and behold, in January, he offered me the job, not as chief art officer, as the first SVP at VaynerMedia, and that meant, and I was remembering
interesting.
Circle of life.
The
it actually is this best friend that told me when I was 26 to go back to college and finish it. And she said, get the damn piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I owe a lot to her.
Piece of paper. Get the damn piece of paper.
Gail.
Twitter.
I owe a lot to her.
Give that.
Shout out to Gail.
Badabing. So, okay. I worked on...
so you're SVP here at how many employees?
I was 389. We probably grew to 450 when I was still here. I was here for almost 18 months.
Good.
I got that big voice in my head again, that kind of like purposeful voice that said, you really don't want to create any more strategies. There's other people that can do strategic work. You just want to coach people, just want to work with people. You just want to like literally light people up and move. Yeah, I want to. And so I told Gary, and he's like, cool, you gotta do this for 18 more months. And I said, cool, I don't have 18 more months. I can give you 6. So I actually resigned, which was a big move, especially resigning from, a place that I love and a guy that I love and a company I believe in. Sure. But the role that I wanted to do, which ultimately became the chief art officer role, was nowhere to be found. We didn't have it yet. We didn't have it. So knowing Gary, the minute I resigned, he's probably thinking of like, how can I get her back? How can I get her back?
Yeah.
And 4 months later, we went to breakfast and we created the chief art officer role.
Interesting.
And it's the role of a lifetime. It's everything I've always done, and then a lot more with 800 people.
Fantastic. Is that what you're up to now? 800 at the end?
Close to 800.
That?
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible growth.
So I've been doing this for 18 months.
So what does it mean? So now we're going to get into it, right?
Right.
So we have this, I was HR guy, chief people officer, human capital back in the day. That sounded fancy.
Very fancy.
Yeah, thank you.
Fancy.
Human
Bullshit.
So VP of HR, chief, human resource officer, why chief art officer? Especially in a day where we are pivoting a little bit these days and creating unique titles. Some of them are fugazi, would you say?
Oh, that's a good band.
You know that word?
Yeah, I know.
Fugazi, fake, right?
I mean,
some actually come from the heart. So we can start. So why heart, and where did it come from? And what do you do on a daily basis?
So we think of HR as heart. We don't think that like HR. I don't even know what HR means. In fact, I changed the name of the department to People and Experience because HR means.
That's not uncommon.
Yeah. I mean, HR is it's just very stale for me. No offense to anyone.
It's statutory.
Yeah, and I'm not. But we're all about people here. We put people first, and so what motivates and moves a person is the heart.
Yeah. And
so we equate HR with heart. So chief HR officer, sure, but I'm not HR. Mm-hmm. It's completely out of integrity to call myself HR. I have a VP of HR. I have a director of HR.
Got it.
I have an HR team that sit within the People and Experience umbrella. But I'm not HR. I've never. That's why it's not CHO.
CHRO.
CHRO.
Just messing with that. Yeah. So this is all Libby Sarkane's fault when she became the chief people officer of Southwest Airlines. If she ever, HR folks, I want to be a C-level. I want to have a seat at the table.
Yes.
It's called Ethan Allen syndrome. It's all about furniture.
Right.
And so I get a C title.
Right.
And then, CPO, Chief People Officer, someone said, Chief Human Resources Officer. That's 4 letters.
Right.
That's 3
more
letters.
than 3.
It's more than an MBA. It's more than
4 letters? Even a CFO doesn't have 4 letters.
Right.
Forget about it.
Badabing.
Badabing.
Badabing. So.
But you have a normal HR structure, though. So tell us. So you're, and I would say you wouldn't have the normal hierarchy at Vayner, but you do have a department. So I won't put you at top. Let's put you over here. But there are teams of folks that are doing benefits, payroll, all that.
Talent.
So you have traditional.
Recruiting.
I guess the question is, so how does the heart operations interact and collaborate with the HR operations?
I mean, there's not a moment that they're not collaborating with the HR.
It's a loaded question.
I know, yeah, that's
loaded.
amazing.
It wasn't on the original scope, by the way.
It's not in your script.
No,
I don't see it anywhere. So I think it's important to talk about what Gary and I do all day.
Sure.
And I mean, we do many, many things, but we are talking to people all day long. So one-on-ones or town halls or coaching or figuring it out. I've got a team of generalists, so HR generalists that oversee the creative department, the media department, the account department.
Cool.
And they are, I hope, I hope they would consider themselves little mini CHOs.
Yep.
In there with their own je ne sais quoi. I mean, that's for sure. So we're infiltrating.
It's French, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, je ne sais quoi.
You spoke French earlier, but we're infiltrating, goodness, putting people first, the golden rule, giving feedback, all of these things, training, leadership, development, whatnot, every single step of the way at scale.
All right.
So Gary is also having one-on-ones, or we're texting people, or we're slacking people. It's just like my door is open and it's actually closed because I'm talking to people all day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, even before we came to this meeting, you were walking with someone. Is that sort of, tell us about a little bit about your day.
I saw a hug as well.
Yeah.
A hug?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a walk and a hug.
Yeah, it was a walk.
So tell us about what's your day look like? When
did the hugs start? Because you see
they start,
they
start in the morning. They go all day. Yeah, my arms never get tired.
So that surfing. Really
it's the paddle, tennis. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, my day. So I'm involved in making people decisions. So and when someone asks me out in the world, what do you do? I don't say I'm a chief heart officer.
Right.
Because or I'll say I'm a chief heart officer because they think I'm saying art. This might be at a party or something. So I say I oversee 800 people. I oversee the people operations of 800 people. And then I might say, do you know VaynerMedia? Do you know Gary? Chief heart officer.
Yes.
So, but back to my team. So they're HR, they're normal benefits, compliance, payroll, legal. There are people that are doing the generalists. There are doing talent and recruitment. There are culture. I have culture people on the team. And we have communications.
All right, so pretty standard, I would imagine.
Yeah, and liaise with the recruit.
There's a compliance standpoint in New York State. Things you just have to have.
You just have to have. Yeah, and in California.
New York.
That's right.
Even California, we're especially fun when it comes to HR.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
And London. Whoa.
Yeah, cool.
So you come into the office, so that's your HR department. Sounds pretty common,
Yeah.
Well, I like to call it plumbing and heating,
Right.
Plumbing and electricity, it's got to work. If it doesn't work, everyone gets angry.
Yeah.
These metaphors used by these folks in Staten Island.
Yeah, well,
it's all about the trades.
I can see the vein.
Blue collar.
I can see the van.
The van. It's about the trades. I guess. This is
Long Island guys.
It's very. We're the
Nobody hammers walls in Long Island.
Finance department.
Okay.
So I guess the question that comes to mind to me is, how does it help businesses perform better? How does it help customers? How does it help shareholders?
Yeah.
That's such a better question than mine was.
How does that quite work?
But so we don't have shareholders. I'll say that.
Generically, because there are people out there thinking,
they're like, should I do this?
She's doing this. Claude's doing this. I want that title.
Oh, I hear it a lot.
I know a lot of friends of mine who you may or may not know who are thinking, I I already do that.
Right, yes.
I want that job title.
And they probably do that. They probably do. So, but my job is to literally infuse the company with EQ, with empathy.
And EQ is what?
Emotional intelligence.
Okay, just make sure again.
Yeah, like kindness, golden rule.
Have you ever heard of a guy, David Caruso?
No.
You should Google him.
Okay.
David Caruso,
Okay.
EQ.
Okay.
I'll introduce you to him.
Thank you. I would love that.
There you
Love
go.
that.
Making connections. Fantastic.
So putting people first again and doing what's right is super, super important because we really feel like it builds connection, which builds trust, which builds care and compassion for another person. Whoa, teamwork.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Creating a safe space where people want to come to work, where they feel like they have a chair, no one's going to sit on top of them. If they're a person of color, there are other people of color. If they're LGBTQ, there's an LGBTQ group. They like Soul Cycle, there's a Soul Cycle group. They like knitting. There's a place for people to belong. They can connect. They can just come here and be ready to rock and roll.
Cool. How do those differ from affinity groups in your mind's eye?
What are affinity groups? Maybe I don't know.
It's essentially what those groups would be called in other companies.
Oh, okay.
You know, affinity group internally, there are groups group for this, whatever.
Or a SIG, a special interest
or SIG,
group.
whatever the people want.
Yeah.
Well, he came with the acronym.
Yeah, you said affinity
groups.
I don't know if they do differ.
Okay.
I mean, they're places for people to find like-minded places.
Yeah, so they don't differ. It's just,
No.
It's just part of the thesaurus that we provide here in New York.
And I really appreciate that.
Sure.
So we're 8.5 years old.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we are doing is we're
grow up.
Yeah.
We're putting things in place as we see, oh, holy shit, we're 8.5 years old and we've grown so quickly. We're a different company that we were 3.5 years ago when I started.
Yeah.
We're not at 389. We're at 750. And so what do we have to do to make sure that every single person is taken care of and feels like they are a part of, that they are a believer, that they're bought in? That is spending a lot of time with me, spending a lot of time with Gary, going on these walks. We ask people to meet and greet people constantly, go have coffees, do a lot of listening, a lot of sharing,
And you're seeing a business impact of that, right? You're seeing the success. You can trace back all of that work to the success of VaynerMedia.
Yeah, I can. And let me tell you a little bit more why. So if we get this connection right, and we put people first, we get connection right, okay? They start to trust each other. Fantastic. What does that create? That creates a place that people want to spend time at and want to continue being here and not want to leave the company, which creates loyalty, longevity, and in the end, speed.
See,
teamwork, speed.
Another element, entry into the thesaurus. We used to call that MBWA, management by walking around. You remember that one?
Yeah, sure.
And plenty of studies have been done at USC, John Bouchard at USC, some of the the esoteric snooty folks at Harvard, or Yale, OMB or something like that. It's a very similar concept. They've been around quite a long time.
Right.
But the funny thing about HR and recruiting is many of the things that are we're a very environmental profession, since we seem to recycle the same things over and over, give them new names, put a fancy coat of a different color paint on them, and bam.
But I think it also helps having a leader like Gary at the helm. Like I've worked in a bunch of different startups, and I could say the EQ wasn't always the fundamental piece of what these CEOs and founders really focused on. They focused on the business first. EQ, in some cases, they didn't even really focus on EQ at all. So having a fundamental business leader like Gary is helpful to perpetuate this stuff, right? Because I've always believed like culture starts at the top. Like everyone talks about culture being sit within the organization, but I think it fundamentally starts from the top in terms of setting.
It does, and so without that, there wouldn't be a CHO. Without Gary saying, this is who we are going to put heart into everything we do, we are going to give a shit about each other, we are going to be kind, we're going to be empathetic. I mean, we teach life skills here. It's crazy. And we teach people how to become experts in social, and experts in digital, and experts in media. So but without his blessing, without him also walking the walk, none of this would happen.
Yeah.
None of this would happen. We would resort back to what the rest of the world has, which I've been there, done that. I'm not interested. I'm really not.
Or in some organizations, what the rest of the world and their leaders don't.
Right.
Anthony.
Right. Exactly. So so I'm an HR person right now. I'm sitting in a company, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. Heart, EQ. What would you say to those folks who are are having a tough time sort of thinking about these things? Like, what's the best way? So you're somewhat lucky. You have a leader that believes in this stuff just inherently.
Yeah.
So you don't have to walk in there and go, here's the ROI of X, Y, and Z. There are some folks that don't have that. They need to walk into their CEO or their boss and say, listen, we need to do this. We need to focus more on culture. How would you help them to be able to go into their boss or their CEO or their founder?
So if they had to,
or
provide,
actually, I mean,
yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily have to be the person at the top. It's not necessarily the best person to go to.
Right. Well, and it's so hierarchical, so matrix in some of those other places.
So someone wants to implement something like this. Where might they start?
Well, what I would definitely do if I had to provide ROI, I would be looking at attrition rates first and foremost. I would look at them today, and then I would put plans in place and look at them in a year. Makes sense. Or look at them in 6 months. I think that's something that you can quantify.
Yep.
For me, having cultural activities where people can get together and share, I think is fundamentally. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's fundamentally like what people want to do. They want to connect with people. Look, human beings are wired to connect. If we allow them to do what's natural, then they will, I believe, organically come up with some incredible ideas. Maybe it's Wine Wednesday. Oh, genius. Okay. Maybe the fourth month.
A lot of us like Wine Wednesday.
Yeah. Maybe the
Thursday and Friday.
Well, Wine Wednesday used to be called Hump Day.
Yeah.
Now it's called Wine Wednesday.
Badabing.
Yeah. Badabing. So get some initiatives like that. I would do some team building activities. I would do some brainstorming with some of your, look, there's always going to be people in an organization that have the DNA of the organization. And I mean that in the best of ways.
Yep.
That put people first, that are like thinking outside of them, that are we, not I people. Grab those people, get them in a room, and let's start to brainstorm some great ideas to, like, literally lift the vibration of the agency. Like, lift it from we're really lucky. Yeah, I mean, Gary's an entrepreneur. So we're founded with yes. We're founded by a guy that says yes to possibility. Yes, you can do that. Yes, try that out. Yes. Or why? Yes. Those other companies aren't. So how do you...
Safety over innovation.
Yeah. So
no risk.
Actually, safety and compliance over innovation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are, I would really, really pay attention to the people that are
already there.
Yeah, they're special individuals.
That's agreed.
Someone once said to me, I'm a
fair weather?
No, I haven't done that.
Okay.
I'm an HR person, HR director's dream employee. And I thought, what an interesting thing to say.
Okay. And they kind of pushed you down the old career chain, didn't they?
Yeah. And
now you're an HR director.
And I thought to myself, it was an HR director that said it. And I thought to myself, well, why? I'm just me. And then I realized, because I don't cause any problem. Like, I'm promoting goodness. I'm promoting great culture. I mean, the reason that I'm in this role that Gary chose me for is I was already here running a team of 50 people.
Right.
And we were bought in.
Yeah.
We did things as we read poetry at team meetings.
Yeah.
We got into shit.
He probably gave the old golden retriever. He stuck his head in one day, gave the old golden retriever head tilt.
Right. You know what?
That works.
You know what he did is because he was having so many one-on-ones with people, he ended up hearing what was going on the old Unilever team. That's what happened.
Interesting.
And
that's what it is. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what we're.
But it's also helpful when you have when you have a culture of yes, that entrepreneurial culture where in most HR organizations you're trying to convince someone that inherently this program or this philosophy is something that's going to benefit the company because it's team or people focused. Not every program is going to work. So having some sort of ability to experiment is obviously key. But most of the time we're going into offices where it's like no is on the desk, right? So it's like, I know for a fact I'm not going to, so I have to, here's a 60-page PowerPoint deck. So you get confused at, slide 30 and you're like,
well, that's what most companies do with recruiting. The definition of recruiting, it's one of simply the most negative professions inside of HR. No, maybe,
right.
no.
because of unconscious bias, because of culture fit, not skill set fit, because of skill set fit, not culture fit.
And because the barrier to entry into recruiting is really, really low.
I can't hear you. Oh,
Okay, the barrier to entry into recruiting is really, really low.
Yeah.
Because it's subjective.
And it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Totally.
Anyway,
Yeah.
recruiting's on the next one.
We can
We'll
go
do a
down.
recruiting specific one. All right, so we are coming up against 12, almost 12:50 now. So our, most of our viewers.
I mean, what I
slept by now,
think is
not because of you.
if we get the response we're going to get,
Absolutely.
we're going to have her on again.
Yeah.
I think we are.
And she wants to be. She
Yeah.
might
I know
wanna
she
be.
wants to.
Yeah.
Be. We'll do it. We'll do it in wetsuits because I can't wait to see her ass in a wetsuit.
Fantastic.
Let's get to the New York Badabing part.
Badabing.
That's part
Badabing.
of the show.
All right, so this is the New York. So we went. So first of all, I want to say thank you to Talent Tech Labs. They're the ones that are supporting this this video cast. Thank you guys, talenttechlabs.com. I want to give a shout out to those guys, Ryan Hall, awesome guy working over there. So now we're going to get into the New York piece, right? You said?
Look, this is New York HR.
New York.
It says it up on top there. It's backwards. but it
Hashtag
says it
New
up there.
York.
Hashtag New York HR.
HR. So Pizza by the Slice location. So, some of our viewers aren't New Yorkers, and we want to give them a vision of what New York HR is, but also a little bit about New York itself.
Because they're going to come to New York.
And they're going to go to this place.
They're going to go. We're keeping track of all these places.
Absolutely. So, there's a ton of food in New York, and there's great food, high-end food. There's really awesome, sort of basic food. But for me, when I just need to get in and get out, my staple is a Pizza by the Slice.
Yeah, gotta get a slice.
Got to get a slice. I got to get in, come back out.
Yeah.
There's a meeting, whatever. Where do you go?
Dollar
So we're here.
slice.
Dollar slice.
Dollar slice.
Hey,
Quick,
Anthony,
dollar slice.
get it? Dollar
Yeah.
slice.
Dollar slice.
Okay, where?
I don't know.
24th and 6th.
Yes.
Is it called dollar? What's it
I
called?
don't know what
No,
it's
it's
called.
not. Two guys.
Yeah.
Two guys.
Two guys.
Two guys.
Two guys.
It's
Two of us.
Two
Two
guys.
of us.
Two
Two
guys.
guys.
They're open until 3 in the morning.
Three
then they're
guys.
Shut.
Here's it. The Hawaiian slice. Have you had the Hawaiian pizza
No, I
with ham?
I love
ham and
Hawaiian.
pineapple.
No, I mean not at
No,
that
at that place.
Slice.
The Hawaiian slice. the ham and
It's
pineapple.
literally a dollar slice, or is it like
dollar slice?
slice.
Dollar slice.
with anything on it? Because this
No,
is the scam.
no,
This is
here's-
the scam with some of these places. It's like the dollar store.
Anthony,
Next thing you know, you're paying $10.
this slice is the size of
Okay.
that face of yours.
Okay. That's not very
And imagine your face all stuck with ham
Ham.
and pineapple and
Okay.
cheese
pretty disgusting
and
right
cheese.
Melted.
now. I'm not hungry. Okay. All right. So dollar slice, and where is it? 24th.
24th and 6th.
There's
24th and 6th.
there are several of these places around the city. It's 2 slices and a can of soda for, is it $5?
Yeah, $5.
$5. $5.
So the can is more than the pizza.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Usually it
It's
is.
amazing.
It's
It's
always-
amazing.
It's
And there's always 2 guys, right? It's never 4 guys or 3 guys or 1 guy.
It's several people.
I
gotta
mean,
be 2 guys.
Sometimes 1 in the morning, so I don't really look. I just want
Okay.
the slice.
Give me the-
So it's
Yeah,
1
so
guy.
it's- Yeah.
And they have the big containers of oregano and
Yes.
garlic salt.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Okay. So we got it. 2 guys.
2 guys.
Shit.
But since you and Gary met on the upper East Side, and that's always a good place for
Person's eye.
that's where the Jews are.
Well, that is true.
So bagel place. Do you like bagels?
I do, but I wouldn't know anymore.
Really?
Well, I would know the place I get bagels now would be.
Sure.
Danny, where do we get bagels? Well,
Danny's off
23rd
camera.
and 6th is the place.
Google.
For sure.
Well, I like Essa Bagel on, I think it's 51st and Lex.
Is that ESSA?
Uh-huh.
Essa bagel.
That's a bagel.
Essa bagel.
That's a bagel.
Essa bagel.
That's a bagel.
Not
I
bad.
like
Is
a
that a
place
bagel?
on 8th and
That's a
28th.
Essa bagel.
Well, I'm sorry. What was that?
8th and 25th and 8th. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, this is-
Trust me for this.
Danny's off
the
off
pizza.
camera
Trust me for the
googling
pizza.
Yeah, right
the
now.
best
Yeah.
bagel place.
I'm all
Okay,
right.
so we have pizza, we got bagels,
We have heart.
we got heart. This is quintessential New York
Yeah,
this
HR
is.
today.
So let's parting thought about being a heart officer, HR person in New York. One thing that you want folks to know, like what is it like? Our show is about being an HR person in New York. If you can say 1-2 sentences or a quick paragraph.
What's special about
What's special or hard? Like, is it hard to
For a
do?
paragraph.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
the,
like Harlem.
I'll fill in
Yeah.
if you want. We could dance.
I'll tell you what. New York is the fastest moving place I've ever worked in.
Fastest
Not fa-
moving.
Certainly faster than London. Gary is the fastest individual I've ever worked for.
So fast-paced, fast entrepreneur,
founder, yep.
founder.
We
Yikes.
work at the speed of sound, and so
It's like Hyperloop.
yeah,
essentially.
hyper. So what I need to know every single day is like
Elon Musk. I have
In
to
the-
have
You
it
have to
done.
throw the
in the moments that I'm with people, I have to be like fully locked in because I might lose that moment. I have to be fully present, and I have to be really, really. I'm so mindful of my time, so mindful of their time too. So
Speaking of time, I think
we're up.
we're up.
okay,
That's awesome.
So Claude, I think just a little New York HR.
Yes.
Fist bump. Fist bump.
Boom.
This is New York. Boom, boom. Like
Do
to
it.
thank Claude Silver. Like to thank VaynerMedia.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary
Thank you,
Vaynerchuk, for having
Gary.
us here. Thanks again. Again, think about fast-paced New York HR. That's what it's all about.
And if you want to be a guest on our show, you know how
we
to
did like
find
that.
us on Twitter, hashtag New York HR, NEWYAWKHR, at New York HR. Peace out.
Later.
Later.
All right.
cool.